Narcissistic parents, they will dismiss you so much and roll their eyes at you and tell you everything's fine, oh, you're so spoiled, blah, 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 that you will believe it. You will believe it. Once you become an adult and you look back at how they treated you, how they viewed you as competition, how they withheld the simplest things that every parent should give their child, is when it really sinks in the trauma that you experienced. It really sinks in just how much pain and bad experiences you have that you need to process and get through in order to function in life. The amount of abuse that a person will sustain within so many years of being a child under their parents' rule is enough to completely rewire your whole brain. Your neural pathways will be set in such a way that you will forever function completely different than a person that was brought up in a healthy, loving environment. When it started to hit me how abusive my parents were, because I was hit every day, multiple times for no reason. For example, one story is my sister put her hand in a bowl of jello when we were like 6 and 7 years old. I was 6, she was 7. And my dad accused me of doing it, and he made both of us put our hand out there, and he could see that it was her hand. And the look on her face was like, oh my god, I'm caught. And he looks at me, he's like, that sure does look like your hand, doesn't it, Justin? And I was like, yeah, I was going to say yes, but we both have about the same size hands. I said, yes. Boom. I remember it felt like he broke my wrist. He would hit my wrists so hard, and I was malnourished. He would hit my wrists so hard that they would be sprung and sore for days. Now, I'm glad I was so young at the time, so it would heal properly from so many of his injuries. But he knocked me out that time, I believe. I mean, I got hit a lot. Later on, my sister told me that that she always wanted a feeling of power. She's psychopathic like my father. And so she said that when that Jello thing happened, when she saw that she can get away with anything and that she could be caught red-handed and I would still get a severe beating, like severe, that it gave her a feeling of power. She realized that she can get away with anything. That was her words. She actually said, once I saw that, I was like, wow, I can get away with anything. I felt like I was so powerful, like nothing could happen. It's like if I have a bad day, it's like, well, just say something about Justin, you get him beaten. It gives me a feeling of control over someone. And she said it so just passive, you know. But when my father in the future would be like, "Oh, wait, I was so abused as a child." Wow, he would just say that out of nowhere to me. My mom would always say, "Oh gosh, you're so spoiled. You had a great childhood," and it's just like, when you have a childhood when you're not allowed outside, you don't have any friends, and you're not allowed to speak to people, and you're just hit all the time. My parents viewed it because since they were children and they could do whatever they wanted, they looked back at their childhood. Now remember, they're boomers, so they were spoiled and had everything handed to them their whole life. With a lot of boomers, they cannot understand what it's like not to be spoiled, not to get everything you want, not to just have, you know, they don't understand that because that's been their whole life. And they assume that just being very, very happy and never have any concerns is how it is with everybody. So they could see something and not have empathy because they cannot relate to you. So being dismissed with the worst things as a child and having parents that never try to comfort you or make you happy or in any way, and they were your primary um, stress in life. They were your primary abusers, you know. Um, it really starts to hit you when you're an adult. But I think what's difficult is as an adult, having such abusers continue to deny what they did to you and not care at all, not have any feelings towards what they inflicted on you. That's still very difficult. And it's very damaging. It's very wounding. And that's why it's important to cut those people out of your life. And it's like, yeah, they're your parents. Physically, they are your parents, sure, but they're not good people. They're not what parents are supposed to be. They're more anti-parents. They do everything a parent is supposed to protect you from. And that's one of the things that you have to not dismiss, because if you don't cut them out of your life, um, you're never going to heal, and you have to heal. Once I started healing from everything my parents did to me, the real me started coming out. And I'm a very kind, nurturing, compassionate person. And despite what my parents said, I am actually rather fortunately intelligent, which is nice. But for you to start to get to that point, as far as whoever you are, you must cut those people out of your life. I was told this by 5 or 6 psychologists and the 3 therapists I have. I don't recommend therapists, but I recommend psychologists. And they were all correct. Just because someone might be blood related to you doesn't change the fact that if they are a harmful bully to you, if they are a hateful person that inflicts pain on you, it doesn't make any difference if they're blood or not. You would protect yourself from that person if you were not raised by them. Just because you are raised by them doesn't give them any type of permission or any type of entitlement to you. They will think they will and act like they will. My parents believe that they are entitled to their daughter and their grandchildren's time, despite the fact of years of molestation and abuse toward her. They believe they have an entitlement to her time and her kids. Simply nothing more than they say so. So, yeah, protect yourself. Protect yourself from narcissistic parents because the longer you're with them, the worse it is for you and the more damage it will cause and the longer it will take for you to heal. That's all.